Hi everyone, this is Fahad Mirza and I welcome you to the channel. Just other day we were discussing about 20 years in jail or 1 million US dollar fine for anyone who downloads or uses the DeepSeek model as was proposed in a bill before Congress. Now that is not a law and that is still just a bill, maybe just a PR stunt. But today this has just happened here in Australia where I am based. Now, before all of you start showing your concern, in my opinion, it is quite a prudent move. And before you start beating your chest, let me try to explain why I think so and why I sort of support not only this but also other similar measures. But before that, let me also just go into what exactly this means here for us in Australia. Also, by taking advantage of this occasion, I also want to demystify one thing. DeepSeek is not something very new which has just fallen through the sky. DeepSeek was founded by 40-year-old entrepreneur Liang Wenfeng in 2023 and they released their first LLM the same year and I covered it immediately within couple of hours. As you can see here, I have been covering DeepSeek models for around an year or so in various flavors, in various variants. So they have a long history behind them, and it's not that it is some conspiracy or something which has just happened last week. These models have been naturally evolving, to be fair. So now we know that. Let's try to see what has happened here by the Australian government. Now, the Australian government's decision to ban DeepSeek from federal government devices due to national security concerns is a prudent move. Now, this is only for the federal employees. For civilians like me who are Australian citizens, all government is saying is that to be careful and vigilant and make sure our personal data is safe, which I believe should be the case for any large language model, whether it is open source, whether it is closed source, as long as you're accessing it publicly, you should always exercise caution, and that is what government is saying. The concerns in this case were raised by national security and intelligence agencies as well as various experts who highlighted that the potential risks were really grave and serious associated with using DeepSeek. There are three main concerns which they have raised from this release, which you can see on a very reputable media outlet ABC News here in Australia, which is Australian Broadcasting Corporation, and I really think very highly of them. They're not tabloid sort of thing. So, three concerns. First is data security. DeepSeek's requirement to feed data to the Chinese government raises concerns about the handling and potential misuse of sensitive information, and that's a very valid concern. Nothing political here, but I think that's a very, very sensible concern which should be addressed by DeepSeek. Second, privacy. The app's ability to collect keystroke patterns, typing habits, and other personal data is alarming, as this information can be used to identify individuals. So, if you are using AI chatbot by DeepSeek from their website, you need to be very, very careful. You need to be aware of that. Third, vulnerabilities. Granting DeepSeek root or admin access to government devices could expose them to significantly security risk. So if you are locally installing this, like I also have shown on my channel, on the government devices, that could be a serious threat. And by the way, uh, ethically, if you have a government provision device or even if your company's provision device, you shouldn't be installing any third party or anything at all on that device unless that is required by your job and that is approved by your company. I think that is valid for any model, any application, whether it is AI or not. Now so that is why I support this. I believe that is a valid concern, and they should really expand it to almost all of the other AI providers, models or tools or frameworks. There are three implications of it, in my humble opinion. This ban really sets a precedent for the government's willingness to take action against technologies that pose national security risk. And I believe this is sort of the first big step which I have seen coming from Australian government. Others might also follow the suit. Third, this move is consistent with similar actions taken by other countries such as Italy and parts of US military. So Italy has already done it. Then there is a angle of public awareness. The government's warning to the public to exercise caution when using DeepSeek highlights the importance of digital literacy, online safety, and AI security. So overall, the ban on DeepSeek from government's device is necessary step to protect national security and sensitive information. And if you have been following my channel and if you have watched these videos, always have made the point in the same regard in different words or another that look, it is great to try out these stuff, but make sure you exercise caution. And this is nothing against DeepSeek or any other country or nation. This is just, I believe, the common sense when it comes to cybersecurity or online security. And as I have been saying again and again and again, that this is valid for any open source, closed source model which is publicly available. For example, if you host a model locally, but your VM or your server can access internet, then how would you know that model is not sending your data, your typing habits, or whatever is there to back to somewhere? And I'm not talking about only DeepSeek, I'm talking about any other model which is publicly available. So it is extremely important that you are security aware and on your toes. Also, just to be clear, this specific press release which I just showed you, it refers to the app, and when installed on government provided devices, that is the specificity of this press release. And this isn't unprecedented, as most departments have similar bans on TikTok and WeChat, among many other apps here in Australia. Department of Defense, for example, has banned use of ChatGPT for a long time, and they have blocked access to it on their network. So ChatGPT is not Chinese, right? Most departments here in Australia, the government departments, have very heavy restrictions on use of generative AI, especially where user data and the sensitive information is involved, as it's simply not acceptable to send private data overseas. A few departments are set up with Copilot, but there are many restrictions and strict contracts with Microsoft on that one, by the way. So according to the policy, these are government provided devices only for official government businesses, nothing else. And that is, I believe, to be fair, valid for any private entity too, because these are company provided devices. No one should be installing extra things on it unless they get approved. So anyone who is aware of the policy would know you probably shouldn't have installed it in the first place. It is just now being called out by name, in my opinion, as this has really become a huge thing worldwide because it has attracted global attention. And in China, I'm not sure if you have been following news, I saw a few of the news outlets. This is being called as a best lunar gift of the new year. I think this is a year of the snake there in China. So they're quite happy, and rightly so. It's really a wonderful model. Despite of all the security concern, they have really done something great in terms of reasoning and a lot of other things. So again, open source. But despite of that, we cannot ignore security concerns. I'm very keen to hear your thoughts on it. And don't worry, no one is arresting us here in Australia. Everything is all good and cool. We love it here. So, but I'm very keen to hear your thoughts. What do you think about it? And if you are my fellow Australian, please also share your opinion in the comments. Also, before I let you go, let me introduce you to the sponsors of the video, who are iGentBot. iGentBot lets you effortlessly deploy a personalized knowledge bot across platforms like Discord, Slack, and others. It is ideal for open source tech communities and startups that provide user support, and I will drop the link to their website in video's description. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you are already subscribed, please share it among your network, as it helps a lot. Thank you for watching.